report or?
Yeah.
Report? There's one bill I didn't understand.
Well, I haven't gone through them all. I got sidetracked.
There's that, I don't know, wallet, Meeting of the Granby Town Board, please come to order. We will salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I would ask the clerk to please call the vote.
Counselor Anthony? Counselor Greco?
Here.
Counselor Haggerty?
Here.
Counselor Polowitz?
Here.
Deputy Supervisor Hawthorne?
Here.
Highway Superintendent Moyer?
Here.
Budget Director Wyman?
Here.
Would you like to make a motion to dispense with any of the minutes? Apparently there are minutes from January 12th yet to be, we have not acted on, and February 4th you may not, or was it February 4th, you may not have had a chance to read, so.
What about the 21st? I'll make a motion that we dispense with the reading of the minutes of January 12th.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Bob, did you get a chance to read those other, like the sports thing? No.
What's that?
No, forget
The
it.
4th.
You didn't approve the 4th, did you?
No,
No.
Okay, I was gonna say, I didn't get a chance to read it.
because that was the reason that she said you just got to do it. I have a couple of letters. First one to the town supervisor and board. This letter is being written on behalf of the Fulton Alliance Church, requesting the assistance of the Granby Town Board. Our church, located on Route 48 in the town of Granby, has in recent months had several cars in our parking lot broken into during services. The last incident took place January 28, 1998, during our evening service. At that time, approximately 6 cars were entered, 2 having windows broken, and items stolen valued at over $1,500. It is my understanding that Mr. Robert Anthony serves as the town constable and that he would be willing to patrol our parking lot during the Wednesday evening services and possibly Sunday evening when he is available. He would, however, like us to get prior approval from the town board for this service. If you have any questions regarding this request, I may be reached at 349-5532 or at home 598-9183. Thank you for your consideration and assistance in this matter, and this is signed Timothy Archer, Governing Board Secretary.
That's a touchy thing.
Do you want to discuss it later on, or do you want to discuss it now?
I'd want to check with our attorney just to make sure there wasn't a problem with the words of church involved. Even though it's my particular church. I know Bob doesn't have any
Well, if he
problem.
wants to do that on his own, but not as the town official. I think,
I don't know whether you want to do it without your support. Unless he did it strictly on his own, but not as town council. A town employee, town constable.
right.
Second letter is from Mr. Joseph Latino to the Granby Town Board. And Mr. Donald Keeney. Dear Don, I am in agreement with the town's 1997 proposal of my allotting $26,500 in funds which are needed to bring the Snug Harbor Road to town specs. These funds are to be held at the Fulton Savings Bank until the necessary repairs are made. In return, I would maintain the road during the months of February, March, April, and May. I would sign a release from liability form while I maintain the road. I have several buyers at this time willing to buy lots and/or build in my subdivision immediately, and a dedicated road is a condition of sale. Therefore, I am willing to secure the requested amount of funds as proposed by C&S Engineering. I also request the formation of a water district for the Snug Harbor Estate subdivision and would like the town to submit an application for the grants used in the installation of water lines. I would provide any assistance necessary to secure such grants. It would be to the town's advantage if the road work was done after such construction in the subdivision. In summary, a positive response in both the dedication of Snug Harbor Road and the procurement of water to Snug Harbor Estates would be a win-win situation for the town and Snug Harbor Estates. Sincerely yours, Joseph Latino.
Is a copy of that going to town attorney?
It just came in today, and you probably would like me to send him a copy. Sure.
Yeah, same with that letter from the church, send them a copy of that.
Okay.
Excuse me, Nancy,
Right.
I think it might be best to advise the public that Supervisor Don Keeney is currently out of town and that the Deputy Supervisor Nancy Hawthorne is filling in. In case there are people
I
that,
think we know that.
And I think it'll be a short meeting.
well, there's people out there that may not know it.
Old business? Hey, do you still have any questions?
Yes. We have here.
We are, our highway superintendent has done the necessary checking on the bids that were opened, I believe it's 1 week ago, and
Oh, for hauling stone?
for hauling stone.
Yeah.
We have a resolution regarding that, the low bid. I can read all of the bids if you would like, that were received.
I don't know, is it necessary or?
I don't know, pretty much. I have a list of,
Okay, we're gonna accept that, what is that trucking outfit?
right, McFarland Trucking was the low bid at $2.40 per ton.
Okay, so you want me to read this? We do a better job of reading than I do. That's all we do.
You have to make the resolution.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, resolution to authorize agreement. Whereas the town superintendent of highway did on the 11th of February 1998 duly recommend the acceptance of the low bid for hauling limestone for the town of Granby pursuant to the provision of the highway law. Now therefore, be it resolved that the town board, the town of Granby, does hereby authorize the town superintendent of highways to enter into agreement with the McFarland Trucking of number 663 of 66 Road, Hannibal, New York, in accordance with the provision of Article 5A of the General Municipality Law of the following. To haul limestone from Benchmark Quarry, Route 321, Skinny Atlas, New York, to the town of Granby Highway Garage, 820, County Route 8, Fulton, New York, in the following amounts: 21 tons of runner crush, 700 tons of 1A, and 200 tons of number 1, for the amount of $2.40 per ton, and to be delivered by May the 8th, 1998. I'll make that resolution.
Someone care to second that?
I'll second it.
That's your best bid. You checked them out.
Yeah, that was a low bid.
You had mentioned that you hadn't heard of McFarland's before, but you have checked them out. They have
I'll
been
sign
around.
a second.
Yeah, the guy lives over in Hannibal, and I spoke with the highway superintendent there. He says he knows him and he's reliable.
Any other
Any
discussion?
further discussion? Who'd like to call the vote?
Counselor Anthony? Yes. Counselor Greco?
Yes.
Counselor Haggerty?
Yes.
Counselor Polowitz?
A.
I just have to stop it. She calls your name first.
We have received 2 applications for dealer license, I believe these are renewals. Apparently these take action at the town board.
Oh, application for the dealer's license for operating junkyard from Ron Kukowski and Vincent Alfano Senior, right. What we do.
I don't know, what do you,
Well, usually we just, 2 people have applied to renew their license, operating junkyard, Ron Kukowski and Vincent Alfano. Ron Kukowski is located, of course, everybody knows, on Hannibal Street. And I believe Mr. Alfano is right down here in County Route 8. He's in the scrap business. He's applying for his, both applying for their license, which runs out, I believe, this month. I guess if there's any, got any problems, we can go ahead and have a motion to renew their license.
I make a motion to renew both those licenses.
I'll second it.
So, Alfonso is who?
He's a gentleman right across from Best Drive, basically, in a sense.
Oh, no.
Scrap metal and stuff he deals in. Of course, everybody's familiar with Ron Kukowski. So, any other discussions? Did somebody, I guess Rose made a motion, did you second it? No?
Yes.
Okay.
Bruce, do you want to, do you need to call a roll call on that?
I don't need to, but
Okay. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And that is carried for both applications. I was talking this week with Mr. John Fumey, who was the person who installed the fire alarm system. And he recommended, first of all, he indicated that we need to change the information on the tape, because when an alarm goes off, not only does it go to the fire department, but it goes to certain town officials, and there's been some changes and so forth. However, he is strongly recommending that we change the system to a central station, what he referred to as a central station. And he said that this is what 911 would prefer that we have. It would be a good time to do it. And he quoted me a price of $156 per year. He said if we were to go with that, then in the future, when it came a need to change names, it would be much easier. And it would be more consistent with the 911 program and what they are requiring. So
Who's currently handling that fire alarm system? And what are we paying?
well, it's a tape. As I understand it, it's a dialer, automatic dialer that dials up the fire department, I guess, and probably Lynn and the supervisor.
It brings me to,
Does it?
if a fire whistle goes off here, it brings me to, and that's a good thing.
This, yeah, this would do the same thing, but it would be just a different way of doing it. So he asked me to bring this to your attention.
I just want to make one comment. I happen to have that particular company for service at my home. And the alarm goes off because I've missed a few buttons. And within a half a minute, I'm getting a phone call. And I've had it for about 6 years. So I just want to bring that comment. Very reliable people. They do call. I'm sure Rick is involved with that type of system.
It's a better system.
I just made that comment.
Good.
I'm not
Thank
trying
you.
to sell it.
Good to know.
People know it is a service we are working with and know something about. There's a lot of good services out there.
So,
What is your pleasure?
I'll make a motion that we go ahead and make the change and immediately, because like you say, there has been a change in town officials.
and I'll second it. All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 You got the dog report?
Yeah, some of these are written. I thought we should let the legislators speak at this time.
Oh, whatever you want to do.
Pleased to see a couple of our legislators, and I would welcome if you have some comments. Sure.
Go ahead, Boris.
No, you don't.
Go on. Oh, you're not far. Go on. Go on.
Don't you do that?
I don't have anything to say. Yeah, I don't.
Next month, we'll make sure he...
My first comment is, Mrs. Deputy, welcome aboard. I wish you the best.
Thank you.
And certainly Councilor Haggerty. And I enjoy working with Rose and Vince and Bob and Ruth and Bob also in the coming year. And hope that if there's anything I can do, certainly feel free to call me. I would just like to give a report a little bit, and I thought maybe my colleague would, we all have the privilege of having 4 committee assignments. Normally we have 3 committee assignments. But I don't know what you did, but we got more work, so we got 4 committee assignments.
I give it to you.
You know, I happen to be chairman of the Economic Development Committee, which is, I think, the largest committee in the legislature as far as what we have to do. We're responsible for the tourism, the planning, and operation of Oswego County, and about approximately 9 other agencies, such as a cooperative extension, soil conservation, historical society, Metro, Central New York planning, and it goes on and on. It's a big committee. It takes a lot of time, but I'll tell you one thing, it's a rewarding committee because it gives me the pulse of what's going on in the development, economic development in the community. A lot of things we do are strictly for all these different agencies, bring us up to par, so I'm looking forward to that job. And then I'm also on Public Works, which is responsible for highway, airport, all your transfer stations, the landfill. And I was chairman last year of Human Services. This year I'm on the committee, and I'm working with the Office of Aging, Veterans, and the Youth Bureau. And I think, Bob, we just got a letter from the Youth Bureau. I see they're getting ready to set up a new program. There is some people, I guess, the AmeriCorps people are also offering us a little something here in the future, from what Kathy tells me. So we're looking, I think we're going to have some more support, more help. We've got a couple projects going on with Camp Hollis that I'm not free to talk about at this time, but hopefully improving the services there.
Have they started the fireplace?
Not I know at this point. We're just trying to take care of the guy next door right now. And I'm also on Government Committee, which is basically the committee that runs the Administrator's Office, the County Attorney, and the various governmental problems we have for the legislature and the legislative body. So those are the assignments I have, and also we all have advisory groups, which are Tourist Advisory, Airport Advisory, and I don't know, some other advisory committees. So let's put it this way, I'm a full-time legislator in all sense of the words. A couple things are going to be going on. Last month we did pass the dairy resolution for the pact that the dairymen need in this community, and I know it's important to people like Lyle. And since then I've talked with Senator Wright, Assemblyman Sullivan, and they're certainly supporting this. They're both on the ag committees in their various houses. Farm Bureau, all these agencies are pushing for this pact because, as you know, the dairy people have had an extremely rough time. I wrote an article for the, I think it's the County Weekly Business Magazine. It just came out today, and lists all the economic benefits of the agriculture community. Somewhere in the vicinity of $56 million a year is generated in this county by our agriculture. And I have listed in there all agriculture and what each one does brings into the community. So I would like to see a number of people look at that and realize what we got going here. In the resolutions tomorrow, we're having a legislative meeting tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock. Once again, everybody's welcome to come. We have some resolutions that will interest some of you people, I'm sure. All our firemen, our volunteer firemen here will be at tomorrow's resolution is to give them pagers. The counties, you know, in their 800 trunking line, are buying these radio systems and radios for the fire departments, and now we're going to give them the pagers for that same program. So they'll be getting pagers to update themselves to the new system. So hopefully that'll be an asset for, not only for them, but certainly for the people that they're going to be working with and hope to save their lives. We have a small cities grant going out for the first time, as you maybe read and have heard about them in the cities. We have small grants for housing and micro businesses. We're just going out into the towns now with such a program, so that a small operation such as, let's say a lady decides she wants to go into the computer business to teach computers and nature of that small business in her home. She's now eligible and can apply for a grant, which we are working on, for up to $10,000 to get her started. I'm using her as an example, but that's the type of business we're talking about. Up to $10,000 here in the town that we can apply, which we never could before. I'm also writing a letter to Ed Marks that I have here and request, in addition to that resolution, that I am writing to offer support for the HUD grant application for homeowners in rehabilitating efforts in the town of Granby and Hannibal. As you know, the town of Granby is my legislative district, and I'm familiar with the needs of the residents in this area. There are a substantial number of low-income families which do not have the resources to repair their home. And as time goes on, the extent of the repair will require very much a lot of money to repair, and are to be made as soon as possible. I would like to note and have this is in conjunction with our comprehensive plan, which states there's a need for funding to maintain the existing housing stock in the county. And I support your efforts in this objective. Sincerely, Morris Sabella. This is a grant for low income, and the guidelines hopefully we'll have in the future for anybody in the community of Hannibal or Granby to, for example, I'll list one that we just got done with a program in the eastern counties. A lady had a 10-room house. She was down to 2 rooms, living in them, because the roof leaked so bad that she only had 2 rooms left in the house. She's a senior citizen by herself. And this program put a new roof on the house, and now we have 10 rooms again. But this is the kind of program that we're hopefully tomorrow can pass, will be accepted by the body, and go out and do some good work in which we feel we need.
Excuse me, is that matching funds or is that grants outright?
This is an outright grant. You must own your own home. It's not for landlords or any of that nature. You must own your own home and live in your own home for us to, and you qualify from the financial aspects of low income.
Morris, who would administer
The county health department, our housing agency, and the county health department, county planning department. I'm sorry, county planning department. We have a housing unit. Donna Scanlon would be doing that. Well, anyway, it's not taking any more time. That's just a few issues. Mr. Boyd, have I left anything out?
Morris, you did a fine job. I want to compliment you, and
I love him.
you're always a good sport.
He won't get up and...
I'd like to say one thing, though. When he asks for resolutions, if they contain money, I'm chairman of Ways and Means. He's got to come through me.
That's what I wish he would do. This gentleman has 2 chairmanships, Ways and Means, which is all the money we have, he controls it. He also is chairman of the Health Committee, and I know he has 4 committee assignments like I do.
Record and
Vice chairmanship.
with Rick on public safety.
Yes, he's also vice chairman, and he's down there probably a little more than I am. So he's a hard-working guy. I just want you all to know that. I appreciate him, and he's a great guy to work with. I'm sorry.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Do you have any information on the Silk Road landfill?
That there is being in mitigation with the EPA. Our attorney is there now and has been discussing with them. We are, I'm not free to discuss too much of the issues, but we are asking for our senator to come into the picture to also, Senator D'Amato, and give us a hand. And we're looking at all aspects of that whole situation and still talking with EPA. So there has been nothing settled. As soon as we get some information, we're going to come back to the towns and hope to God that we can trim things quite a bit. Anybody else got a question?
Thank you, and I thank you, Bud. I have a couple of written reports. The first one is from the dog control officer. Report for the month of January 1998. And also includes calls from December 23rd to December 31st, 1997. Number of complaints, 40. Number of dogs picked up, 12. Number of dogs destroyed, 1. Number of dogs released, 11. Number of dogs on hand, 3. Expenses for food is $29.07. Supplies, $21.48. Vets, $55. Ads, $6.50. Monthly mileage was $524. Impoundment collected, $30. Adoption fees collected, $45. And a tank of heating fuel was $113.49. And this is signed by Gail Phelan, our dog control officer. Another written report here from historian Elaine Woolridge. January was a very productive month. I managed to get the grant for inactive records completed and mailed right at the deadline. We should know whether or not we receive this next grant by June of 1998. We are presently trying to empty a file cabinet for Vince per his request and expect to have one for him by the end of February. I had a call from the Post-Standard regarding Black History Month. I returned his call but have not yet heard back from them and suspect that I won't, as we had nothing planned. We continue to do the SARA document retention, and progress is slow as we have to handle every single piece of paper and decide whether it needs to be kept or disposed of. Our representative from SARA came on January 19th to inspect our progress and to make a few suggestions, which we are heeding. We ordered more shelves and will be dismantling the blocks and wood and asking the highway guys if they can use these items in their everyday work or sometime in the future. I continue to brief Ruth as to what progress we are making in the records room, and at the same time she keeps us abreast of new and ongoing things. This is, as I say, from Elaine Woolridge. I have a report from Mr. Holt, but I see he is in the audience. Would you like to? Pardon? The assessor's report, we are well into our exemption period. Right now, exemptions are coming in at an alarming rate, with all the interest stirred up by the New Star exemption. There are a number of first-timers who never knew about the older seniors exemptions. The same holds true of the veterans exemption. Last Monday, February 9th, there was a total of 23 people who went through our office. I also handled 10 pieces of mail left over from last week. The phone calls I could not count because half of them I could not answer. You must remember that this was in a 4-hour period. I'll vouch for that. I answer the phone and pass it on to him, and there are many people coming in and many, many phone calls. I do not know how many exemptions we have to date, but it has to be more than last year. More on this at a later date. As far as the permits go, that is Warren Wheeler's project. The last time I talked to him 1 week ago, he was almost finished with the data collecting. He should be giving the board a report shortly. This is from Raymond Holt, the assessor, chairman of the assessors. Do you have any additional comments, questions, or?
Not on that.
Okay.
Ray, when we had our meeting there a couple of weeks ago, Warren said that he was going to have a report every 2 weeks in regards to the, and he hasn't submitted that. Huh?
Would
He was
that
gonna
be-
have it in on the 10th.
On that,
Pardon?
on the 10th? I thought he said something about around a Friday or something like that.
No, it was supposed to be in by the 10th so that we could have it for this meeting tonight. But you haven't heard from him? Has he said-
No, I talked to him a week ago, and he said he'd pretty near done, so. And he's supposed to report to you, the board.
Yeah.
I'll give him a call, if he can get one in this week.
He's got them almost done though.
Yeah, it's almost done.
Well, maybe he's waiting till he...
That's the main thing anyhow.
Well, the thing was that we had talked to him last May, and a whole year had almost gone by, but he was going to give us a 2-week report every 2 weeks. And the first one was supposed to be in yesterday.
The only question I got, Ray, I don't know if it's the board or do we have to get together and talk to Bob about it, about this veterans thing that's up in the air.
I've got comments on that whenever you want me to say something about it.
I know it, I brought it up 2 or 3
Yeah.
times, we just don't see...
That's why I'm here tonight. Originally I wasn't going to come tonight, but Rose said something about you wanted to discuss this, these 4 items I requested. Do you want me to do that now or wait till later?
Let's go ahead.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead.
Last year I requested 4 resolutions. I'm going to rescind 2 of them because we don't have time to get into it.
Okay.
Because exemption date is March 2nd.
He was too late for a couple of...
Yeah, right, which is, the first one was a person with disabilities. I have had only 1 request, so this isn't going to affect many people anyhow. So I want to rescind that request. I'll put that off till next summer sometime when things ease off. The other one is the eligible funds for veterans, for town exemption. I wish to put that one off too, because we don't have time to get the word out. Because once you make a resolution, we've only got 1 year to put in for it. So it's really, the time period right now is,
It's too close.
it isn't right.
When would be the best time for that? Like in the fall?
Yeah, sometime during the summer, I'll do a workup on the requirements and all this and put it to the board, and then we can go from there, sometime during the summer. Then we can get the word out. And the main thing is getting the word out to everybody. The county didn't do this. The county didn't put too much in the paper about it. So there wasn't too many veterans that switched, not from this township. Now, they had 1 year. I think that's true, isn't it? They had 1 year on
They
that?
had 1 year.
So that time period's up. So the ones that didn't put in for it, you got to get that word out. I'm going to recommend that we contact each one and have the eligible funds. Of course, a lot of them have passed away, But of course, their wives can do it.
You mean send out a notice to everyone in
Right.
particular?
Well, this is just, I'll go over it quick. 1989, when the eligible funds, there was 333 vets.
Okay.
Okay, now how many of those had eligible funds? Well, it had to be eligible funds, that's right. The next year we jumped to 361, but how many of those 333 are left? I don't know. They might have sold out, died, or whatever. But that's down the road. So the 2 that I would like to put in for is the exclusion of veterans' disability compensation. I gave the board each a sheet on these at one time. I don't know whether you got them with you or
Yeah,
not.
I haven't got it with me.
So anyhow, permits the exclusion of a veteran's disability compensation for the purpose of senior citizens exemption. That income wouldn't be included. Now it has to be. It can be taken out if the board recommends. It has to be a local law, ordinance, or resolution. 3 different ways of doing it. I don't know which is the most convenient.
Resolution, it's like.
Well, whatever. But I'd like that in before too long because we'll be figuring exemptions.
I just brought that one up at our last work meeting we discussed it, remember?
We had so much fun at that work meeting.
Yeah, and I brought it up at our work meeting.
If it's brought up, you have to have a hearing or something on it.
I think over the-
Well, if you do, it's got to be,
I don't know about this. not sure.
Well, he just mentioned it depends.
But we won't be working on these until after March anyhow, when they're all in. So if you can pass that, I can exclude that. Okay? I can give the board copies of this tonight if you want it.
It's the thing that you already gave us a copy of. But-
I did, but...
Right, okay, I just don't have it, I got it in my folder. I got separate
Right.
folders for everyone
Well,
here.
that's chapter 168, under senior citizens.
Did I understand that
Pardon?
this does not involve a deadline of the end of the month, this one?
Not really, because if you pass it, we won't be working on these until after the deadline. You know, I can hold off on them, because it doesn't have to be in the swing up until a later date anyhow. But the ones, the veterans are putting in, their senior citizens have this on, they're supposed to have this on their income. And if you pass a resolution to exclude it, I can discount it, subtract that from their income.
But you would like the resolution
And up
this
to March
month?
2nd, they have to have it on there.
So you're looking for a resolution from the town board to exclude the
Right.
disability
Right.
from their
Disability
total, the disability income from their total.
But the veterans that are sending them in now, they should have them in within, what, a week or so? It's got to be on their form.
All right.
If you pass a resolution, I can...
Okay, do you have a ballpark of how many people this might affect? No? How
I
much?
got no idea, because Rose just told me this afternoon, I didn't get a chance to get any figures.
Okay, so do we have any idea how much this would affect?
I sent out 7 letters for renewals, veterans that don't have a permanent disability. If they have a permanent disability, it stays on.
Oh, it stays on, okay.
How many are permanent, I've got no idea. But I've only got 7, I had to send around about renewals for it. I don't think you're talking that many.
No, I don't either.
I'd have to research it to find out exactly how many.
But I guess, okay, now that you bring this up, when is the deadline for us to make this, to get this resolution written up and pass for you to do what you gotta do? I mean, we gotta have it done by when? This is February the 11th, as we well know. I mean, we gotta have it done by when? February the...
By the end of the month, I would say.
This has been lingering.
I know.
I brought this up last year. So.
I know.
This doesn't apply to school taxes, does it?
No, veterans exemptions don't apply to school taxes, town,
And
county.
So this really wouldn't be needed until the 89, 80, for next year.
Next year's rolls, yeah.
Yeah.
98, and they've got it winter swing on. Tender rolls come on May 1st. I've got to have everything in April 15th,
That's right.
someplace along there.
That's right, yeah.
But I'd like it done as soon as possible, so I can start working on those. I can put aside the ones with disability income on,
Just make the resolution.
work on the rest.
He has it written down there.
But you don't have any immediate impact on the town.
I didn't research that, this went up too fast tonight, so. Okay? That's one. The other is a maximum assessed value eligible for alternative veterans exemption. Right now, we got $80,000 limit, but it's coming into effect in 1996, the restoration of equalization factors will affect that $80,000. Our equalization rate is multiplied by that $80,000, which brings it down. And if you remember, I told you last time that somebody was getting a $20,000 exemption on a $100,000 home. The equalization factor brings it down to about 18. So he's not getting his full 25%. For myself, I'm assessed at 50 plus. I'm getting my full 25%. We should raise that limit.
Now, I believe you told us the county raised it to what?
Pardon?
Did you say the county had already raised it? The county? They passed a resolution on radio, or am I mistaken?
We did pass it last year.
This comes from the state.
All right, but I thought the county changed.
County did.
To what,
Last year raised the exemptions.
to 120?
You rated the maximum? The maximum,
God, I can't remember the figure on that. What, do you remember?
120, somebody said.
It was raised last
I
year.
think it was 120. They recommended 120 from the office, my office.
Somebody recommended 120.
Just mention.
And if that's so, I'd like to see it come up in the 120. I think I suggested that last time.
Somebody mentioned 120, it might have been you, Ray. Somebody was, okay. Now, we need a resolution on that also?
Yes.
Is that, I heard something about a local law. Does it have to be a local law, or can it be a resolution? Makes a difference. because
Makes a big difference.
Yeah, okay. The local law needs to include a provision. Yeah, that's the local law.
Yeah, I wanted to
For
discuss
both of
this.
them? Excuse me.
Local law, ordinance, and resolution on the other one.
The other one, okay. Because if it's a local law, we were looking at the calendar, and we probably have to schedule the public
Yeah.
hearing tonight so that it can be advertised. Then there's a waiting period of 5 days before
I
you
can
have the
give you
public
copies
hearing.
of these in
So
a few minutes.
you're almost to the end of the month.
Right. So those two I'd like enacted before, this year. The other two I can wait for.
We just get those out to Dennis,
Okay?
review it, and write them up.
Do you want to schedule a hearing on this? Or not?
I think we ought to, sure.
Yeah, one has to be a local law and the other one can be a resolution. We can do them.
I think that would be the best bet.
Okay.
Let's look at the first one, the one that we can do by resolution. Would you like to? Do you have the wording on that resolution, the first one? The one on the exclusion of
disability?
For the disability seniors?
disability compensation?
Well, I'm going to wait for it here.
Right,
Oh, that's
so that they
fine.
can make a resolution to that effect?
give you a copy of it.
Okay, all right.
Okay?
Okay. Because we can make the resolution on that tonight, and then we'll have to set a public hearing for that second one. And like Nancy just mentioned, in order to get it done, we have to make a motion tonight for a public hearing, so you can have it maybe about the 25th of the month or something, am I correct?
Something like that, that last week of the month.
I wish we had a little bit more information on that, though, in regards to how many is this going to affect and how much money we're talking about.
Well, I sort of agree with you, Bob, but you're talking strictly, he's talking strictly the disability part of veterans, right?
I don't think you're talking so much on the
I don't think you're going to be talking too many
The
veterans.
other one, how many people are over 20,000 or 80,000? So, as that,
Yeah.
that would be the one that's $80,000.
Yeah, no, I go along with that 120. I don't think it...
But there still has to be a...
have any impact of any significance.
I'll make copies of these, come right back.
Okay,
Thanks.
Okay, and we can jump back on that after then.
okay, Lynn,
All right.
you want to come back to that in a few minutes?
We'll have to then, yeah.
Do you have any comments or report or anything from the planning board?
I didn't get no report. You got any? I know you got a meeting coming up, 20.
The
The 24th.
hearing on our next regular meeting at 7 o'clock on Gary Royce's subdivision.
24th, right? No?
No, that would be the March meeting. I can't see the calendar, so I can't.
Oh, I thought there was a meeting February the 24th for the planning board, on the public hearing. I'm mistaken?
No,
Oh, what, yesterday in March, the public
it's
hearing?
March. It's supposed to be March at our regular meeting. It'll be at 7 o'clock, the public hearing, and our regular meeting will be after the hearing.
Oh, okay, so you're talking March the 2nd then?
All right, March
Okay.
2nd.
Your first Tuesday in...
Yes,
All right.
yes.
And
That's for Royce's?
That's
Royce's
for Royce's.
subdivision.
And
Where's that?
That's the third.
That's the,
Oh, okay.
either the second or third phase of his original subdivision on Rathman Road?
Rathburn.
Yeah, Rathburn Road. And we've got Ray Combs subdivision that we're working on too, on Muck Road. But that isn't to the hearing point as yet.
I misquoted, that's March the 3rd.
All right,
Count the way the lights in
That's it, I guess.
Thank you. ZBA? Okay. Highway superintendent.
I don't have too much to report. January, we did have a little bit of snow, which kept us busy. It's hard to believe now, but the way the temperature's been. But we did some rebuilding on the snow plow, some of the wear items, and rebuild shoes and that kind of thing. Picked up some trash dumped side the road, some cold patching road whenever the weather allowed. We did have a couple days of freezing rain in the middle of the month, which kept us busy, but nothing, of course, like they got up north. And cutting brush, too, as the weather allows. We had structure fire up on the Ridge Road in January, and fire control called us up to do some sanding for that. I got the specs ready for the road sweeper that I talked to the board about back in January. So that'll be advertised for bid on Monday, and the bid opening will be February 27th at 2:30. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Nancy, I don't see seniors down here.
Well, that's under our Anthony, under your report.
Under you.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Budget officer?
I have the annual report for 1997 pretty much completed. I need to verify some numbers with the bookkeeper. Once that's drafted, we get it typed and then printed and sent to the state. Has to be into the state by the end of the month. I've also talked with Elaine on their Sarah grant. We got half of the money last year. She gets this year about 2/3 of the rest of it, and then she has to complete the program, write a final report, and we won't get the balance. That's $3,780. We won't get that till sometime after June. But we have that budgeted. She knows what the numbers are, so that's that. If anybody has any questions, I'm in here pretty much during the day. And if anybody has any questions on the 98, what we're doing, I'll be more than happy to sit down with you.
Thank you. Rose, would you like to speak
Yes.
about the seniors and
Yes,
whatever?
yes. I went to the seniors last week, and they had to go to the highway department to get help to put the tables up over there. I think they have round and square dancing there on Tuesday nights. So they dismantle the tables, then they don't put the tables back up. I don't think it's right for the highway department. It has to, those old people can't do all, and then they found 2 broken tables over there. They don't know whether they're dancing on the tables or what, but they're broken. That's your,
We break them, I don't know.
Actually, there's about 4 broken ones over there.
that is your, they don't know how they're breaking them. They just don't want to be say the seniors are doing this. The seniors aren't doing it. Lynn, one of your guys went over to help them last week to put the tables up, and it shouldn't be that way. Whoever dismantles them should put them back up.
Is this the first time this has happened? And
No.
They had this problem before?
Yes,
Okay.
Well, that's Granny Sweet's crew that comes
yes,
in.
the
right?
round and square dancing on Tuesday nights. They dismantle the tables, and they should mantle them back up after they use it. But the broken tables is your department, right?
Well, along with a bunch of others.
Would you like,
I think maybe
who
you,
would you like to contact to, Granny,
Well,
whatever
maybe-
contact person would be?
Well, whoever,
can you come over and see Granny Sweet? Don't you?
I'm not familiar with Granny Sweets.
You
That
know, I
was-
don't even know the woman.
I don't either
Oh.
to talk to. I mean, somebody should, let
You
them
don't want
know.
to, you don't want to talk to her?
No, I don't want her to talk to them.
Yeah, but you could just come over some Tuesday night and talk to her.
Well, If you want, I
ones I'm
can
talking about are
find
red.
out who to talk to. I have met Mrs. Week, so.
Yeah, I already gave them one of these, they should have one.
Am I butting in?
No,
I marked the ones that, talking about the red.
in red?
That's one of them.
Do you have any additional report?
That, no, but that, you know, Bobby Anthony's the only husky one there, he's younger, and he had to get the highway department to help him. It's not fair, they use it free over there on Tuesday nights, I think
We'll
they
talk
should.
to them. I thought probably a lot of the same people, but maybe not. No.
We gotta find out who's breaking
A
the
lot of
tables.
those
We just,
people that come here don't even live here either, so.
On that raising the cat, there's a lot of garbage in there.
Thank you, Nancy.
About the 1997 rolls. It's too late for that anyhow. Disregard that that makes about 1997 rolls.
okay. So one you can do by resolution, but Bob was a little reluctant, right, Bob? But we don't have much time on that. And the other one we have to do by local law.
Whatever the board decides.
The one with the disabilities, we could just make it,
No resolution.
yes. I've been after this board for this for about months.
Are you sure a resolution
Ray,
won't handle that?
where'd he go? Did he go to the restroom?
No, he went down the hall.
Oh, he had that in the book.
So it says in the last sentence, municipalities may adopt their local laws or, then in parentheses, it says school district resolutions. So maybe it does require local law.
We're talking about senior citizens, chapter 168.
I'm talking about this one here, this first one.
Persons with disabilities.
Oh,
I would interpret that as meaning that if we were a school district, it could be a resolution.
I think in the book, it says a resolution, in the book that he's got, I've read it, and I think it says that, every municipality has to make their own resolution and pass it in their own town.
But does it have to be a local law?
Well, he said he was just getting it out of the book, whatever we got right there, really.
I hate to get hung up on technicalities, but we want to do it right.
why don't we just play safe? Let the town attorney make a decision on that. We're planning on meeting anyways.
We
When?
plan on well, we got a tentative thing set up about maybe the 19th right now.
Yeah.
Next week, the tentative
I
work.
hate
have
to
to have a
push this
local
again,
law
I've been
that
there
wouldn't
so
give us
long.
No, we can't screw up on it.
and have the hearing
When did-
before the end of the month.
When did you
I
want?
doubt it.
Well, we have to have the hearing like on the 25th, I think you were thinking, right, Nancy?
Sometime that week.
This has
She
been a
to
long time
advertise.
coming. This was brought to the old board a long time ago, and I think this board should really act on it, not just push it aside again. Really, it's been before
Well, we never,
our other supervisor and our other board for a long time.
I would interpret this as saying, as meaning a local law,
both of them, you think?
because of the way it's worded here.
Oh.
Municipalities may adopt their local laws, or, in parentheses, it says school districts resolutions.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And you think you need definitely need a local law on this other one too about changing it from,
That's what I'm talking about.
This book help you? This is the book I came out of. I can let you take this one as long as
We're
you're.
just trying to determine whether we can do it with resolution or have to have a local law.
That'll help you out. I'm not sure they've been anything followed or not.
Probably the same.
see, they go right in here, Nancy, and the one you just pulled out of the book class, because of the most affecting, making local law to implement the new limits.
That one definitely has to
It
have local law.
says local law there again on that one. On that page 11, Bob, on the alternative exemption for property value limit, you notice down in the paragraph there, how about the the third paragraph that mentions, because of not assessing units in 1997 to the adoption, get what we're referring to, what line? And then it says again, local law to implement new limits. So again, we have to have a local law on that one.
Doesn't say it this
And that's the only other one. And that says down here, this one too, Rose.
I thought they were looking
I
at.
guess I offered senior citizens.
right here. And this means that the local law.
Yeah, but the one with time lapse, it says.
And that one says it could be by resolution.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm reading the wrong place.
It says all through it, adopt a law. Look at the bottom.
Adopt a law, ordinance, or resolution to allow exclusion of compensation.
Look at H.
That's right.
It says it
Number
right
H.
down.
Letter H, it says it can be by
Yeah, we can
resolution.
go with the resolution.
That one should be adopted.
Well,
right
so
away.
this
reading the
guy,
one.
The other one-
which will offer,
Well, the other one said he
can
should wait on that.
have the option to, adopt a local ordinance or resolution.
yeah.
Okay.
Resolution?
Okay. That's on the senior citizens, right?
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
And that changes,
This would be a resolution allowing the exclusion of such compensation, and the compensation referred to is
disability, right?
exclusion of veterans' disability compensation as defined in Title 38 of the United States Code from an applicant's income for purposes of the senior citizens exemption. That's not... Yeah, okay.
Ordinance or resolution.
What is your pleasure on that one?
My only problem is how to word the resolution here, people.
Well, it's basically read this, I think if you read this, basically it's...
Chapter, what it says, you mean,
Be it resolved that
senior citizens, chapter 68 permits, is that what you're saying?
Chapter 168,
Permits the exclusion of veteran disability compensation as defined in Title 38 of the United, is that the one?
yeah.
Yeah, that's the
you
word.
would-
The
Basically, you would say, be it resolved that the town of Granby permit the exclusion of
Right.
veterans' disability compensation, etc.
Right, just copy that right down.
It indicates senior citizens, doesn't
Okay, that sounded pretty good, Nancy, if you want to run it back so the clerk can get it.
Yeah, I'll
Kind
get
of.
it there. I'll get it down.
Right,
Oh,
okay.
oh, okay.
it? Okay,
So-
Rose, make the
Go ahead,
motion.
Rose.
Who is making
Well,
the
I-
resolution?
You make the resolution.
Being that I'm head of the assessors liaison, I'd like to make the resolution that, you want me to read this?
No, you just wanted to read it? Go.
That we allow the seniors, it's gonna be worded different, that the
The exemption.
Exclusion of veterans.
exemption for this, veterans, seniors over 65 that come in and apply for their seniors, that their disability income will not go towards their taxes. Their income will be free, right, Ray? I mean, they don't have to put that income for, right, for their total income. So I,
Excluded, disability is excluded from the total income, correct?
yes,
Veterans' disability.
so I'd like to make,
Veterans disability.
yes, for the veterans.
Rose, Ruth's gonna get that
Motion has
straight.
been made.
We'll get it, don't.
Oh, Rose, you just reword it for me, okay?
Okay. I'll second it then for you, Rose.
This is a resolution, I guess we should have a roll call vote.
Okay. She made it and I seconded it. Any more discussion?
Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was there any more?
Any more discussion, Bob? Rick?
Nope.
All right.
Counselor Anthony?
Aye.
Counselor Greco?
Aye.
Counselor Haggerty?
Aye.
Counselor Palawitz?
Aye.
That is carried.
Okay.
Now,
You want to set up a public hearing for this other one on the 25th or 26th? I don't care, whatever you need the time for advertisement purposes.
it is up to you. If you wish to take action, I would recommend that you set the public hearing.
Well, from what Ray's told us, and we can investigate it a little more, we're going to raise it from the 80 to the 120, correct, Ray? That's what we're talking about. I believe that's what, and Mr. Salvello said that's what the county did, so, again, this applies to veterans.
Yes.
So, it's fine with me. Any other?
We could go higher, I think it's 160, 180.
Well, yes. You're right, I see that. It says 120, 160, 180. You got a cap of 300, but I have no problem with going to the 120. Yeah, okay, I don't want to go.
As long as that equalization rate doesn't drop anymore, it's down to 92 now.
So do we need a motion to
Probably we need a motion to
for public hearing?
to have the clerk advertise for public hearing.
I'll make a motion to have the clerk advertise for a public hearing on the veterans.
I'll second it.
This will be, what do we plan, the 24th?
No, 25th, I think, Nancy
Well,
was saying.
whichever, I don't, whenever.
Well, how much time do you need there, Ruth?
You need 5 days after it comes out in the paper.
So it won't get in the paper, because we don't forget, we've got a holiday Monday now, Ruth, so we've got to take that into consideration. So it probably,
I think the paper will still come out.
no, I don't think so. She's not here, so I don't know.
Yeah.
It's safe for the 25th, I think.
So there's 5 working days, so there's 5 just consecutive days.
Probably one day.
I think we're safe for the 25th, though, in case it,
safer by putting it on the 25th.
just in case because of President's Day coming up Monday. We're on the safe side for advertisement purposes.
Make it Wednesday, the 25th. 7 o'clock, 7:30.
7, yeah. Now, who, did I?
No, did we have a motion?
Did I make the motion, or who seconded it? Be at 7
I
o'clock.
don't think we have a second yet.
Maybe
I
it's-
made the motion.
No, for the second one?
Oh, yeah, you made the motion, and I seconded it, yeah. It'll be for 7 o'clock on the 25th, Rose.
Thank you.
Discussion?
Being seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Clerk will send the necessary notice to the newspaper. Okay. Mr. Greco,
Yeah. Oh,
you have some report.
well, let's see. As people know, we've had some problems with ice buildup. Of course, all the snow was gone here in the last week or so. But in last Friday, at the 2/6, we've had this office section, all some more vent work done and a lot more insulation put in there to eliminate these icicles we've had in this office part of the building. We also have a problem in the town barn section, and that's later on the agenda. People will notice if you go out the front door here tonight, we haven't got that gapping hole that you can throw snowballs through. We got the front door fixed, and I also had the doors fixed at the community center. That was done Monday. And we had some patchwork done on floor tiles by the front door in the middle of the hallway, and also back by the supervisor's office. And the water's being tested, and I believe you just got the results back, Lynn?
So as far as bacteria, it was satisfactory.
We might have to go, we might go in mine further here.
It was drinkable.
We might go further and have it tested and see what else is in it, but I think Lynn's gonna call tomorrow and see what it, have the county check it further for us to see what the cost might be to, if there's a charge to check it out further.
I think there would be. It depends on what you're testing for. You may have to go to a private environmental testing company to get other tests. But the bacteria, if there's no bacteria, that's good news.
That's good, anyway. Do you know, is that all they test for, Floyd, or is
As
just
far as I know,
the county, we'd have to go to a private lab probably?
If you go private lab, that's quite expensive.
it can be very expensive depending on what. Some of them will offer.
There's no bacteria.
That's right.
It's got sulfur and it's got an odor to it.
Just get a water softener and put in there. Would that help it?
No.
When you make the coffee, the odor's gone. See, mine at home smells a little bit too. But when you make your coffee, there's no problem.
But people have been
But like I
complaining.
told you, right, after that last big rain we had, that well was covered with snow. our water, excuse me, goes right next to the road.
All right.
And this stuff in the road runs right down on top of the well.
But people, I'll have to bring it up in a work session, we'll get into it now tonight. People are complaining about they can't drink this water because of the smell of the odor. So I don't know if we're gonna have to,
He sells water.
That's up to
right,
the
that's
board.
what I got in mind, and see what kind of costs. I'll have to see it, you know, and look into that.
There are some systems for taking care of sulfur too.
Nobody can drink this water straight.
Whether they're cost effective, I don't know. I can bring in some information on that.
Almost seems like it'd be cheaper to go with what the highway department's doing.
Buying our own water for the past 3 or 4 years. The water service.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, that's about it, I guess. I haven't got anything from the planning board or anything right now, no. Yes, sure.
At one point, some people have asked me about the community center. Is it possible for volunteers to do work in the community center, such if they wanted to paint it, no cost to the town, or things like that? Is that a possibility? Some of the people that one of the people, our groups that we had talked about it was the Republican committee, that they would possibly go in and buy some paints, you know, with your permission and the town's permission to maybe paint the tiles or fix up some things, some curtains, things of that nature. And what I'm wondering, is it okay with the town? Is there a law that says we can't do it or what? But there is some people willing to think about it and volunteer to, you know, and someone said something about donating some dishes and stuff like that for the up there. I mean, is this all possible? I'm asking.
Yeah, as long as somebody's informed of what's going on. And
Yeah, we'd inform whoever. I mean, the town would tell us what to do as far as, say we want to paint the ceiling tiles or.
Oh, the ceiling tiles are pathetic.
Okay.
They should do.
Comment. Someone said, I'd like to make a set of curtains or something. Then I'd be happy to, you know, be the person to get to coordinate that.
When we just take it one step further, not to dwell on it too long. When we put the new heating system, I know we were supposed to insulate it. Somebody says it wasn't insulated properly. So I've got to get this particular contract that I had do the office building. I want to get him back. He's off a couple of weeks. I want to get him back and have him check that out. And then I found out since then, I've been over there, that the ceiling tiles actually, I think they're beyond the paint stage. I think they're going to have to, I had a, you know, it wasn't a contract, just somebody who knew about it says, looks like we need a whole new drop ceiling put in there. A couple of the light fixtures are, I don't know what they're hanging on there by, but they're not too good. That's another problem I've got to work on, you know.
What I'm saying is, if you'd like to handle that committee, if there's something here that we can either donate, I say we can work on, and this volunteer group would like to do something. Okay, and we'd be happy to work with you if you're in charge or whatever.
Yeah, that's another headache, John Gay. Buildings. Thanks, Mark.
The same group that did this building?
I have no
4
idea.
years ago, they built this, they cleaned the whole.
Oh, no. I'm talking about just regular people.
These are local though.
Maybe Rick Haggerty, who knows, I don't know.
Now this was, yeah, that was that other, I wish we could get that group back.
Oh, the ceiling over there is pathetic.
Yeah, it needs replaced.
They put those cheap tiles in you go over and move.
All of it?
The Youth Bureau. We have Joyce Forsythe, the youth director. Maura Sorbello, this is the young lady that's working with the youth program in the town of Granby now, Joyce Forsythe. So she could give the report on the youth program.
Great. I feel like I did when I went from the 6th grade to the 8th grade for the first time. The 1998 Granby Fall Youth Program is flowing right along. We have gotten off to a great start at the Bailu roller skating in Fulton. Our opening night was Sunday, February 1st. We had 112 youths. Our second session, February 8th, was 103 youths. The program will run to March 29th, with one exception, we will not skate on February 22nd. The parents are also allowed to take part and skate with their children at no charge. There's no smoking, including parents, during the event. Once kids are signed in, they're not allowed to leave the building. There is also a skate guard on the floor at all times. Is there any questions there?
Sounds like you're doing a good job.
Very good, Joyce.
Bob Powlitz and I are working on the summer program. There was an improvement over last year. We will be offering activities 2 days a week. The days will be on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And if you have any questions, you can contact me, Joyce Forsythe, at 598-1352, or the Granby Town Hall.
You're going to have the youth program 2 days this summer?
Right.
Will you find enough to do for 2 days?
We pretty much got a full schedule.
I think we had 2 openings that were, we got a couple of floaters in there that we'll fill in at a later date depending upon how much money we got left.
Okay, very good. Very good, Joyce.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thanks, Joyce.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joyce. In regards to code enforcement, I've been working with Carl Stately here from Lighting Safety Consultants. They haven't issued any permits for the month of January. He has been taking a lot of calls and complaints. He's been working with them, trying to straighten out the system, the files, and we're making some good progress. It is a mess, but hopefully we'll resolve that. Again, I'd like to get together with Don Keeney as soon as he gets back, as soon as possible, so that we can formulate some activities in this area. That's it.
We're going to set up a tentative meeting for the 19th, because he's available on the 19th, and I'm available on the 19th.
Is Don available?
Well, we'll assume, you can tell them that you got some board members that are available, so you have to work it. In the evening, we're talking about.
19th is good with me.
Yeah, they go with you, Rose, 19th? This would be
I'd like to meet with him before that.
Yes.
Nancy.
Yeah.
Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. Sure.
Nothing at this time.
Stay awake.
Any other reports, or did I miss anyone in terms of town officials or meetings? I would ask for a motion to approve the payment of the town bills.
I'll make a motion to approve the payment of the town bills as listed on the abstract.
-98 in the amount of
$26,626.40.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Our next regular meeting will be March 11th at 7:30. As we've indicated, there will be a public hearing on the 25th at 7.
We want to establish a work
Do
session.
you want a work session at that time after the, we would have to take action if you decide to, before the end of the month, so.
Sure.
Oh, I didn't know after you met about this building and zoning problem, or life safety problem, if we could come up with establishing a work session at that time?
Sure.
After
Well, the
zoning.
point is, that
Okay.
if you have a public hearing on these veteran matters,
Okay.
that you may want to take action following the public hearing,
Oh, I don't know, we might want to have a work
Because
session that night then.
so maybe that would be the time.
Okay,
It'll be on the 25th?
on the 25th.
So let's,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Public hearing
or
7,
following the,
work
following
session
the,
7:30.
following the public hearing.
Okay, fine. So it'll be a long
The
meeting.
meeting is 7 o'clock.
Right.
7
Public
o'clock
hearing
on the
at 7
25th.
and work session
Alright.
following them. Okay. And we got the tentative meeting for the 19th
Yeah.
at 7 o'clock. Well, that'll be that executive session because of that, trying to work out that policy matter with life safety.
Okay. All right. I would now open the the meeting to the floor. Anyone?
I got a,
Yes?
Rolls, was there any updates on Bingham Road, the trailer park?
Yes, I think we had a meeting on it, and, I believe, the attorney is, notifying them for 30 days, was it? 30 days? And, if they do anything in 30 days, they get contempt of court. I think that's the way it was left, right?
At the last town board meeting, there was the meeting on February 4th.
There you go.
There was a resolution by the town board that said that since the
Mobile home park.
said mobile home park continues to be in violation of Town of Granby zoning laws, Attorney Spencer Luddington is authorized to demand compliance with said zoning laws by the tenants and owners. Said compliance, should compliance not be met within a reasonable time frame of 30 days, Attorney Luddington is authorized to commence appropriate actions. And that was passed at the last meeting.
On February the 4th, and
That's the way it was.
that's about it in a nutshell for now.
Something happening there. Pardon?
Yeah, February the 4th. A executive session with the Spencer Ludding at that time.
They have 30 days to comply, if not, I guess it's contempt of court if they don't, I think. Okay?
That the letter has been sent. Yeah, I think that's what we probably want to know. When was the letter sent and when does the 30 days start?
Well, Luddington left the meeting and he just said he was going to get right on it and notify them, so it won't be too
I
long.
assume by now they must have a letter already.
Yeah.
I think the clock is probably running.
I think the clock is probably running now.
Any other comments? Questions? Concerns?
Hubbard, nothing?
Well, we got no more.
Mention about it.
Oh, I don't know. Did we mention this last week? Maybe not, but I will. It's been brought to my attention that our town justice, Ed Winkworth, is president-elect of the New York State Magistrates Association. So that's quite an honor, and we're very proud of him.
Well, if there's no more questions, I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second that.
In favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Just a little.
Oh, that was,
We got something done.
we got two meetings going.
What's her name?
I know it, I don't know what happened.